In the last lecture, I discussed regarding MSP 430X5X series block diagram. So this is the general block diagram of that. Okay. So I will give you an example for like that G series, F series. Okay. So I will discuss about that. The specific block diagram that is called MSP 430F5X. So it means that in the place of X, I have put it F. So there are different versions are available in MSP 430, F series, G series, C series, J series, K series, like that. Okay, so different microcontrollers having different specifications. So in MSP 430X, F5XX having all the things whatever I discussed yesterday. Okay, just I will give you an overview so that you can have any idea what is the difference between the general block diagrams and this particular F5 series block diagrams. So you can see that in there also I have discussed unified clock system. Here is also there power management module, and also it had 16-bit RISC process CPU. Same it is. Enhanced embedded emulations mode EEM, JTAG is available. DMA controller is available. System control या batchdog timers is available. Flash memory and RAM is available. So all the things whatever is there in the series block diagram is also available, that all the things. Okay. So now we will talk about the hardware specification. So this is the for computation it is used the hardware multiplier. So here there also hardware multiplier is there. CRC block is also available. CRC block is here also available. That is called cyclic redundancy check models. And then AEC is available. The AEC is called Advanced Encryption Computer Systems. So this is used for computation, advanced computations. Since this is a powerful computer, powerful microcontrollers, so we'll discuss that. And also it has general purpose registers, timers, and timers having different modes like capture modes, PWM output modes, like that. So in this block diagram also has basic timers and RTC. Comparator is there, ADC, DSC is available. Operational amplifier is also available. For communications, if we are talking, we are using the universal serial communication interface like SPI, UART, I2C. We are using both types of communications, either asynchronous communication or synchronous communication. Both communication will support this MSP 430 F5XX. Now it is also has USB 2.0 port and also RF transceivers for data transmissions. If we are talking about the input output display, then we are talking about the general purpose input output ports are available, pull up pull down facilities are available, and also it works as a high drive, and it is segmented. LCD is also available, static mux is available. See what is the meaning of that? So whenever what is the use of mux? So we are telling that the mux defines that it will allow a much larger number of segments to be controlled by a limited number of pins. मतलब क्या हुआ कि कम pins में हम ज्यादा काम करा सकते हैं. That type of facilities are available. Okay. So this is the general things. And now I will discuss each blocks one by one so that you can get clear. You don't have any doubt in the each blocks. So first I will be talking about the MSP 430 X5X key features. What types of features are there? Okay. So first the feature is it has ultra low power and also it has increased performance. So if we are talking about the increased performance, it means that whatever previous series are there. So let us consider if we are talking about G series, then it comes F series. So F series is having increased performance rather than G series. Like that we are talking. So in ultra low power, how can they tell that this microcontroller is consuming very low power? बहुत पावर में काम करता है. Okay, so you can see that 160 microampere per MIPS. So MIPS indicate that million instructions per second. So when you are executing in 1 second million instructions, and it will take 160 microampere current. So in this case, you can tell that it's very useful. And also, when we are talking about the standby mode, it will consume 2.5 microampere current. So it lasts, ये ज्यादा दिन तक चलेगा, ठीक है? क्योंकि इसमें फैसिलिटी होता है कि जो भी सिस्टम्स काम नहीं करता है, जो भी कंपोनेंट्स काम नहीं करता है, जो भी पेरिफेरल्स काम नहीं करता है, दैट पेरिफेरल्स will be switched off anytime with the help of clocks. If you are not supplying the clock to any peripheral device, that device will not work. Okay. So now it also has the facility. It is integrated with LDO, BOR, WDT, RTC. So LDO represents low dropout voltage. BOR represents Brownout protection circuit, or Brownout reset, whatever you can tell. WDT, burst of timer, RTC, real time clock. So what is the LDO will work? So actually what will happen, this if microcontroller is having a supply voltage less than the required voltage. Now this microcontroller will work from 1.8 to 3.6 volt. So let us consider it when the supply voltage is less than 1.8 volt. So what will do? He will not perform. He will not do the job. So what he will do? At this case, the LDO will be responsible to switch off the systems, so that there is no harm for that. Okay. And how it will switch off? With the help of BOR, Brownout protection circuit. With the help of BOR is called Brownout reset और Brownout protection circuit. Both are same. Brownout reset का मतलब क्या हुआ कि जैसे ही वोल्टेज 1.8 से कम जाएगा, ठीक है, this LDO will trigger to BOR, and this BOR will reset the full system. So this is a responsibility. And WDT, burst of timers. All of you know that if any system software failures occur, then burst of timer will be responsible to correct it by restarting the systems. And RTC, real-time clock, for using the, you can see that in 8051 there is no RTC available. Okay, so you can't able to even manage a time and date and month like that. But in this microcontroller, RTC is available, so you can easily manage month, date, time. It runs at a frequency of 12 megahertz at 1.8 volt. If you are supplying 1.8 volt, the frequency is 12 megahertz. And wake up from standby in less than 5 microseconds. Let us consider this system is in standby mode. Okay, standby mode से उसे wake up होने में 5 माइक्रोसेकंड से कम टाइम लगता है. सो यू कैन से दैट इट्स फास्टर, ये जल्दी आ जाएगा. जैसे मान लो कि हमें सिस्टम शट डाउन करते हैं और सिस्टम स्टैंड बाय मोड में होता है, तो सिस्टम को ऑन करते हैं, तो इट विल टेक सम टाइम. सो सेम वे दिस कंट्रोलर इज आल्सो विल टेक टाइम, बट इट विल टेक लेस देन 5 माइक्रोसेकंड. इट्स वेरी यूजफुल. नाउ हाउ कैन यू टेल दैट it increase performance? How the performance will increase with the previous version? So now you can see that at 1.8 volt, frequency is 12 megahertz. So we are supplying 5 volt. So the frequency will increase depending upon the supply voltage. 1.8 volt flash erase and write. So you can easily erase the data and you can easily write the data in the memory. Fail-safe flexible clocking system. With the help of RTC, you can tell that it is a available flexible clocking system. But fail-safe means if the supply voltage is less than 1.8 volt, then it will be automatically switched off. It will automatically go in the standby mode like that. It also has user-defined bootstrap loader. So with the help of bootstrap loader, you are going to configure this particular microcontrollers with the softwares. Like we are going to use the CCS software when you are going to write the program for this microcontrollers. That is called Code Composer Studio. And it also has up to 1 MB linear memory addressing. So you can increase the memory up to 1 MB. This facility is also available, so that you can tell that this is having increased performance rather than the previous versions of microcontrollers. So now innovative features are there. It also has multi-channel DMA, supports data movement in standby mode. Now when the system is in standby mode, then also you can transfer the data with the help of DMA. So when the DMA will transfer the data, what will happen? At that time, CPU will not do any job. So the CPU will in standby mode, there is no problem in that. So we can save the power line. Now it also has industry leading code density. What is the meaning of industry leading code density? Is that the code, whatever you have written the programs, okay. So a processor with greater code density requires few instructions, that is small programs. मतलब small programs में you can do a lot of work. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक छोटा सा काम बनाने के लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, एक बड़ा सा प्रोग्राम लिखना पड़ेगा. So this is called code density. कम programs में we can specify number of more operations. It also more designs options including USB, RF encryptions, LCD interface. These things are also already inbuilt on that. We will see one by one what is the block diagram descriptions. I will tell you each and every components, what is the use of these particular components. Okay, so first we will start with the RTC. So RTC is called real-time clock. So real-time clock is responsible for handling the time and month in calendar, or you can say time and calendar. Okay, so this RTC modules having two types of RTC, that is called RTCA and RTCB. Okay, and it is 32-bit hardware counter module that provides a clock counter with a calendar and alarm. Now जितना भी time से related चीजें हैं, ठीक है, either alarm or your calendar or you can time anything, ठीक है, with the help of 32-bit hardware counter you can configure this RTC. Okay, and in counters when it will be increases like that, what will happen? If we are talking about second, so first the counters is of 32-bit. No problem, I will not write 32-bit. So let us consider, I will talk about this bit only. So first it is 0. Okay, so no problem, 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, 0. Okay, 3, 1, 1. So it will increase one by one, and the time will change. After 60 seconds, the minutes will change. After 60 minutes, hour will change. Like that, it will set in on the hardware counter. So the counter is responsible for increasing the values always. Okay, and with the help of that, you can setting the calendars and you can also set the alarms like that. And RTCB includes a switchable battery backup system that provides the ability for the RTC to operate when a primary supply fails. Now what will happen? This is the facility with RTC. When your primary battery is available, it means that your system is switched on. Then you can use the primary battery for RTC. But if a primary battery is switched off, let us consider the system is switched off, then also RTC will work. So for this RTC, you required a switchable battery. You required a battery backup systems. Okay. So whenever see in the motherboard, one small battery is given. So this battery is used for the RTC only. But when the main supply is there, main power is there, then this battery is not used at that time. Okay, so the battery will be used only when the primary battery is switched off. It means that the system is shut down. इसीलिए क्या होता है कि ये बैटरी काफी दिनों तक चलती है. ठीक है. So next is Barstow timers. So all of you know that what Barstow timers, the use of Barstow timer is. So Barstow timers, it performs a control system restart after a software problem occurs. Any software failures happens with the system, the Barstow timer is responsible to restart the system. And in 99% cases, when you are restarting the system, all the things will be corrected, whatever software faults are there. तभी हम लोग के पास क्या होता है, जब भी कोई सिस्टम हैंग कर जाता है, then we are going for the restart or reset. Okay. The next is brownout reset, and it is also called as brownout protection circuit. It detects low power supply voltage and resets the device by triggering a power on reset signal when the power is applied or removed. It is continuously turned on. So BOR circuit is continuously turned on, and what he will do when the low supply voltage occurs, then he will trigger one POR signals. So POR signals is called power on reset signal. मतलब क्या हुआ कि जैसे ही सप्लाई वोल्टेज लो होगा, BOR क्या करेगा, ट्रिगर करेगा POR को. ठीक है, POR क्या करेगा, ये सिस्टम को क्या करेगा, शट डाउन करेगा. ठीक है, दैट इज कॉल्ड पावर ऑन रीसेट बटन, and it always continuously turned on. The next is DMA. So DMA is used for transferring the data from one address to another across the entire address range without CPU intervention. When we are using the transfers with the help of DMA, at that time the CPU will not do anything. So at that time you can remove the clocks from CPU, no problem in that. So next is enhanced emulation module. So what is the use of this enhanced emulation module? So it provides different level of debug features such as 2 to 8 hardware breakpoint, complex breakpoint, break when read-write occurs, then a specified addresses. So this module is responsible for debugging the whatever you have written the code for that. Let us consider you have written 200 lines code. So in that case, this EEA module will convert this code into the several breakpoints after 10 lines, after 20 lines, after 30 lines, so that it will be easily debugged by the system and faster. It also have a hardware multiplier, that is called MPY32. It is also of 32-bit, and also it is used for two types of multiplication, that is called unsigned multiplication or signed multiplication. So when you are going to unsigned multiplication, you can use the address 0 to 130. When you can use signed multiply, then you can use address 0 to 132. This is the bit defined by the hardware. Now we will come across with the power management module. Show what is the use of PMM. So power management modules, actually it generates a supply voltage for the core logic and provides several mechanisms for the supervisions and monitoring of both the voltage applied to the device and voltage generated for the board. Now what we will do, this is responsible for generating a supply voltage for the core logic. What is the meaning of core logic? It means that directly you can tell the CPU. And also it will provide a mechanism to supervise and monitoring that value. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने सप्लाई किया 3 वोल्ट सीपीयू को और कुछ देर के बाद 2.8 वोल्ट हो गया. सो इट नॉट हैपन, क्योंकि सीपीयू को करंट जितनी भी वोल्टेज की रिक्वायरमेंट है उतनी वोल्टेज मिलनी चाहिए ऑलवेज. ओके, सो दिस PWM module is responsible for that. So it is also inbuilt with the LDO, that is called low dropout voltage, BOR, brownout reset, supply voltage supervisor. So with the help of these three features, the power management module will work out. Now we will talk about the supply voltage supervisor, SVS. So it is configurable module used to monitor the ABCC supply voltage or external voltage. So any external voltage will occur or any ABCC be there. So what is the value of external voltage and what is the value of ABCC? So this is responsible to monitor them. Yes, supervisor. Supervisor means what? He will supervise. He will supervise in this supervision the supply voltage either from ABCC or external voltage supply. So इसको क्या करेगा? ये monitor करेगा. ठीक है? And also it will configure to set a flag or generate a POR signal when the supply voltage, external voltage drops below user selectable threshold. Now what will happen? He is monitoring the supply voltage. In supply voltage either from ABCC or you can external voltage. No, there is no problem in that. Okay. So what will happen? In these situations, if the desired voltage, मान लो कि जो डिजायर वोल्टेज है उससे वोल्टेज कम होता है तो फिर क्या करेगा? तो इस केस में क्या करता है? ये एक पीओआर सिग्नल जनरेट करता है. Why it will generate the POR signals? With the help of POR signals, ये फाइंड करता है कि जो भी एक्सटर्नल वोल्टेज है या एबीसीसी है वो सिलेक्टेड थ्रेशोल्ड वोल्टेज से कम है कि नहीं है. मतलब सिंपल सा ये समझो कि जो भी एक्सटर्नल वोल्टेज है, जो भी एबीसीसी सप्लाई है, उसको ये मॉनिटर कर रहा है. लेकिन अगर मान लो जो भी डिजायर्ड वोल्टेज है उससे अगर कम होता है, ठीक है, तब क्या करेगा? ये पीओआर सिग्नल जनरेट करता है. और पीओआर सिग्नल जनरेट करने का मतलब क्या है कि ये सिस्टम को रीसेट करेगा. ओके. सो नेक्स्ट हैविंग जनरल पर्पस इनपुट आउटपुट पोर्ट, जीपीआई पोर्ट. So already I discussed it. There are 4 different ports are there. That port is a 16-bit. Port A, port B, port C, and port D. Okay. So now each port is divided into 2 sub ports of 8-bit each. Port A is divided into port 1 and port 2. Port B is divided into port 3 and port 4. Port C is divided into port 5 and port 6. Port D is divided into port 7 and port 8. But you can see that in port 8, you have only some pins for using the input output. Other pins are busy. Like you can see that. Today I will discuss that. You can see when I am discussing the port D, it means that this section. Port D having a port 7-bit and port 8-bit. These 2 bits are available. Okay. So in the case of these 2 bits, you can see here port 7 is crossing 1 cross 8 input outputs, but port 8 is working as a 1 cross 3 input outputs. So only 3 pins is used for the general input output pins, and rest of 5 bits are available that is used for the special functions. Okay, that's why totally 11 pins are used here, but total having 16 pins. So if 5 pins are left, that 5 pins are used for the, you can tell that special functions. Okay, you are not going to use that pins as a general purpose input output. So now if you are talking about the next is USB device. So what is the use of USB device? With the help of USB port, you can able to transfer the data. Okay, so it is fully compliant with USB 2.0. All of you know that USB 2.0, USB 3.0. There are different versions are there, and different versions are having a different speeds. So in this USB, whatever is there USB 2.0, it can be transfer the data at a speed of 12 megabyte per second. But what is the maximum speed of USB 2.0 is 480 Mbps per second, megabyte per second, and USB 3.0 having a 5 Gbps per second. So this USB 3.0 is having highest port, but in this system only USB 2.0 is available. So whenever you are talking of, you have a systems, I think in your systems USB 3.0 is available. So only he will give one ports of 3.0 in the maximum laptop or maximum desktop in motherboard. Okay. So with the help of this USB module, you can suspend, resume and remote backup operations can be configured for 8 input output endpoints. Okay, so this is the another function of USB. It also has this facility of suspend, resume and remote backup operations. So you can do these type of operations with the help of USB. Now when we discuss about the USCI modules, it is called Universal Serial Communication Interface. So already I discussed it supports two modes simultaneously, either synchronous or asynchronous. So for synchronous and asynchronous, we are having two parts of USCIA, USCIA and USCIB. One is used for the communication synchronous, or another is used as asynchronous. So now we will discuss the CRC16, cyclic redundancy check models. So in the study also, I will tell you what is the use of CRC. Okay. So CRC indicates cyclic redundancy check model. It provides a signature for a given data sequence. Let us consider whenever you transfer the data of a particular bit, then what will happen? This data will reach to the destination or not, you have to check it out. For that purpose, you are using the CRC. This is CRC 16, it means it is of a 16 bit. Okay, so we are adding the signature after a data sequence. So whenever signature reach to the destination, I will understand that whole data will be reached. And also we are talking about the reference module. So what is reference module? So it is responsible for generating voltage required by all peripherals of system. जितने भी peripherals लगे होते हैं, जितने भी peripherals devices work कर रही है with the help of this microcontroller, for all devices, reference module is available to supply the voltage. If a microcontroller having 5 volt supply, then let us consider if something is required for 2 volt, then he will provide 2 volt. If some peripherals are divided 3 volt, then it will provide 3 volt. So these all the things are responsibility by reference module. So now JTAG interface. So it is called Joint Test Action Group interface. So this interface is used for testing a circuit board. Okay. So it is an IEEE standard 1149.1. What is the meaning of IEEE standard? So whenever you are designing any system, designing any subsystem, like जैसे मान लो तुम्हारा USB है, तो ऐसा नहीं है किसी के USB का साइज अलग है, किसी का USB का साइज अलग है, ऐसा नहीं होता, ठीक है, एक्सेप्ट एप्पल डिवाइसेस की सारे फंक्शंस अलग हैं, ठीक है, वो सारे कंपोनेंट्स अलग बनाती हैं. एक बार अगर आपने एप्पल्स के प्रोडक्ट्स को खरीद लिया तो मीन्स वो आपको बांध लिया कि इससे कोई भी चीजें जरूरत पड़ेगी तो आपको खरीदना पड़ेगा. यू कैन नॉट एबल टू टेक हेल्प फ्रॉम अदर्स मीन्स अदर्स कंपनी. सो इसलिए क्या करते हैं कि IEEE स्टैंडर्ड हम सेट करते हैं. जैसे मान लो यूएसबी पोर्ट है, तो अगर 10 कंपनी लैपटॉप बना रही है तो यूएसबी पोर्ट सेम देगी. अगर मान लो ऐसा सिचुएशन हो जाए कि यूएसबी पोर्ट अलग अलग देना शुरू कर दे, तो फिर क्या होगा? जितने भी यूएसबी केबल्स बनाने वाले हैं उसके लिए अलग हो जाएगी, जितने भी एक्सटर्नल हार्ड डिस्क बनाने वाले हैं उसके लिए प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, जितने भी मोबाइल चार्जर बनाने वाले हैं उसके लिए प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, ठीक है. सो ऑल द थिंग्स विल हैपन. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी आर सेटिंग ए स्टैंडर्ड प्रोटोकॉल so that every company is manufacturing this USB port, then you have to fix like that. ऐसा नहीं है कि जिसको जो मन होगा बना देगा. ओके, सो ये IEEE स्टैंडर्ड सेट करता है. तो इसका भी IEEE जो स्टैंडर्ड वैल्यू है 1149.1 है, ठीक है. ये नंबर है, इस नंबर से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, ठीक है. एंड इट इज यूज्ड फॉर द टेस्टिंग सर्किट बोर्ड्स, डिबगिंग माइक्रोकंट्रोलर्स, so it connects to computer also. If you have JTAG interface, then you can able to connect this microcontroller to the PC directly. And for connecting, you don't need any hardware. Sorry, you don't need any software or any driver. If JTAG interface is there, you can directly plug and play. Will happen. So if you have any doubt, you can discuss. अगर किसी के पास कोई डाउट है तो बताओ. अगर किसी को कोई डाउट है